Wildcard. It's good to see you, man.
You too. How's my levels? Am I loud?
No, sounds good.
Excellent. Yeah, I had to get some new gear, so I wasn't sure how it was gonna sound.
Yeah, we are we're gonna miss you. You just fit in so well, and you just have such a amazing amount of knowledge and experience, and uh you get it, man. The vibe is always good, and I know you're busy, and I know you got life to live, but we are just gonna miss you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been hectic. It's still hectic.
Yeah,
Um,
you're bringing out music and re-releasing stuff. I mean, it's all good, man. Susanna, nice to meet you.
Hey, how's it going? It's Susana, by the way.
Susana. Okay, excellent. Susana. I'm gonna
Mark
make
likes
sure
to
I
get that out of the way. Yeah, we all do that. We do that with everyone, and it's like, yeah,
Oh,
how do
everyone
you
gets
say,
it wrong.
how do we say your name?
Yeah, I mean,
we want to clear that up prior to the show, so we
is.
don't keep saying it wrong.
It's important, man.
Don't even worry about the last name. Just Susana is fine.
Well, Kapostasy. That's not a problem.
Kapostasy.
Oh, Oh, see, I was thinking like it was a play on like apostate, like I am. Okay,
That
so
would be cool, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
No, it
okay.
means cabbage in Hungarian. It's not cool at all.
Cabbage is
Does
awesome.
it really?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
that's wild. That's awesome.
Can you say it one more time?
Kapostasy.
Kapostasy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm gonna write it down.
Wait, because you know how to write it down so that you can say it the same.
Well,
every time,
phonetics,
too.
right? You know, Susana.
If I wrote that down,
Kapostasy.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, nope, it's wrong every time because I don't know how to put the correct phonetic.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that either.
Yeah, no, I just figured it was like, a play on apostate. I'm like, well, that's cool too, because of the subject matter of your movies. I'm like, it works out.
That could work, yeah, but no,
Yeah,
it's cabbage.
Kapostasy.
Just cabbage.
Okay. Let's call you cabbage. All right. That's excellent. There's Chop Top. We're just gonna call him Chop Top, so that's fine.
Easy enough.
Yeah, easy enough for him. Nice for showing up on time, Chop Top.
Yeah, my apologies, everyone. I had a little phone trouble there and stuff, but I got it figured out. So,
all right, you
I'm all
push
set.
the green button to make a call.
Yeah, you got to punch some numbers to dial out.
That's right.
I know. Hey, when you're the star of the show, you can be late a little bit. So.
There you go. There you
Why am
go.
I on time? Why am I
it.
always on time then? When the talent shows up, right?
That's how we know. That's how we know.
Again, I apologize. It's very nice to meet you. So,
hey, nice to
welcome
meet
Heavy
you
Metal Horror. Yeah.
Okay, now Chop. Her name is Susana. That's her first name, Susana, and her last name is Kapostasy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a play on apostate, like Kapostasy.
Yeah.
But it's Kapostasy. It means cabbage in Hungarian.
That's really cool.
So there we
Really
go.
cool. Yeah.
It
Excellent.
sounds silly, but we like learning stuff. We even stuff like that. We're like, oh, that's wild. That's awesome. We love that
just
kind
like
of
with Deb, with Deb Levine. I mean,
Yeah.
most people go with Levine. That's why I wanted to find out.
right.
Oh, it's Levine. Like, okay, it's
Sometimes
people's
we learn
names are
stuff,
important.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
That's really cool.
Susanna, I really love how busy your room is, man. They've got so much going on back
Yeah,
there.
that's
It's
awesome.
crazy. I love
it's
it.
a bit much.
No way. That's awesome. We love
No,
it.
it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
just like you're walking in, like this could be a great place. Like if I were to go shopping, like, okay, I see a skeleton back there. I see some looks like VHS movies or something like that and posters.
Yeah.
Like that's where I want to go buy my stuff,
That skeleton is actually a prop from Creep. the movie
Oh,
Creep.
nice.
Yeah, Joel D.
Oh.
Winecoop pumped that skeleton.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the stuff
No
that we
bones
love
about
to
it.
hear. Yeah, that's the stuff we love to hear. That's
It's
the
actually a
gold.
really good story, so we can talk about that. How I got
Okay.
that skeleton. It's a little ridiculous.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to do that. So how about we just get our intro? We'll do our intro and we'll start this ball rolling.
All right.
Excellent. All right.
So what's up, everybody? My name is Isaiah Rice. I'm an actor, writer, producer. I love horror. I fucking love it. And I mean, you're listening to what, like one of the best horror podcasts out there right now? I mean, tell your friends, tell your family. Like, it's amazing. If you don't know about it, get into it. It's the Heavy Metal Horror Podcast, y'all.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, this is Chop Top. Stay heavy.
Am I supposed to say anything or am I good?
I'm Wildcard, and I'm just doing dumb shit.
We were just waiting on him to do his thing.
Oh, all right,
Well,
good. I don't know how to do it. How to do this.
That's okay. Hey, no problem. See, we're gonna teach you one. We're gonna show you what we do, and at the end, we're gonna invite you to join us.
Excellent.
So, and you've been you're not Ben. You are. Come on, man. You are watching and listening to heavy metal horror. Ugh. Kiddies, tonight we've got a great show. Tonight we have Susana Kapostasy, independent filmmaker, writer, director, producer, horror buff, metalhead, and all-around cool room. Susana, welcome to Heavy Metal Horror.
Thanks.
Now, we were just talking about that skeleton right there in the back, and you said you had a great story. So let's just start off with
All right.
a great story about how you got this skeleton.
It is a great story. So I have Johnny Braineater Productions, which is my production company. That's what, we did Metal Maniac. We did Night of the Zodiac. By we, I mostly mean I. But I also work with Tim Ritter of Twisted Illusions. He did, Truth or Dare, Killing Spree, Creep, Day of the Reaper, all that stuff. So we've been collaborating and shooting stuff. And I had this corpse. His name was David Bonenberg. And he pretty much just is in any project. So we took him into the woods of Kentucky. And we were pretty excited to shoot this short. So we didn't eat and we didn't drink. And it was like 100 degrees. And we got very, very lost in the mountains of Kentucky. And the sun started to go down. And we're like, all right, well, we're in the middle of the mountains and definitely not ideal. So we had to ditch Bonenberg along with this fake cum-covered mannequin and this box full of syringes and handsaws in the middle of the Kentucky mountains. And to kind of save time, I guess, to find our way back. And then we found our way back. And that's the story. Some hillbilly's going to find a cum-covered mannequin, a corpse, a box full of saws and syringes in the mountains. But anyways, Tim
So
felt
that's how
bad.
Wrong Turn begins. I think
Yeah,
that, I mean,
kind
right
of.
there. I mean, you're like seeding Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
So
So
if you
anyways,
know,
I really like David Bonenberg. He's a very consistent actor. He's just a corpse. He's always there. So Tim felt bad and he pulled that guy out of his attic. And that is the skeleton from the 1995 shot on video classic Creep that Joel D. Wynkoop humps in the graveyard. So, pretty
Nice.
legendary
That's-
skeleton back there.
that's great. So I mean, in a way, you maybe have answered one of our questions we're going to ask later. But that's okay. Because we all like memorabilia. But that's a pretty good story. And I'm glad that you qualified that it was fake cum covered.
Yeah.
Well, at least the corpse was fake. I kind of get confused about that, but that's awesome though. I like that. Props. But leaving them out there in Kentucky, I'm just waiting for the next Wrong Turn movie, and so that's going to be awesome. And I like the name David Bonenberg. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he was good. I missed that guy.
Yeah. All right, Susana. What's the first movie you fell in love with?
Oh man. Probably First Blood when I was a kid. My mom dated this real fat piece of shit dude named Frank Carlozzi, and he was just terrible. He was like this super big fat Italian Catholic piece of shit. And the only cool thing about him was he had an excellent taste in movies. And so I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old watching First Blood and The Godfather and stuff. So anyways, he showed me First Blood and I was like a little tiny kid, and I guess the violence and the traps and all that stuff just really, really won me over.
Yeah, what else do you want at 7? You're going into the 2nd grade, 3rd grade. You're like, I'm going to build these for my classmates.
Yeah, I mean, Sly's clearing the mountains and
Yeah.
that motorcycle and taking down copters. It's so cool. What else could you want? The giant spikes impaling the dude. That just
Yeah.
that just won me.
Just sang to you. Did you start
What else
cutting
do you
your
want?
arms
You
so you
want the
could like?
cum-covered skeleton. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did you start cutting your arms so you could sew it up with that, survival
No, that would
knife?
have been sweet though.
I remember those got really big and really popular in the mid '80s. The
I bet.
survival knives with all the stuff
Oh
in it, the
yeah, they
sewing
had the
kits and
compass and the
compass on
fishing
the side.
string.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The
Hell
little,
yeah,
little
man.
hook. Yeah. My friends brought them. I'm thinking like, when the hell are you going to be out in the woods? That you're going to need a fishing line.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know when you're gonna get lost in the Kentucky mountains with your favorite.
That's right.
film
Right.
video filmmaker.
Well,
That's
that's
right.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
So is First Blood your favorite movie?
No.
Still? Okay. So what is your favorite movie now?
Let me talk about First Blood for a quick second and why
Sure.
it's not my favorite movie. Because
Yeah.
the book, I hate to be that cliched, like the book is better than the movie person, but First Blood, the book, makes First Blood, the movie, look like a Disney movie. It is so dark
Yeah.
and brutal and violent and relentless. So basically, I read First Blood like 2 years ago and I took the poster of the movie off my wall. Like it just wasn't the same. I still like
Fuck
it.
you, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, well, Sly tried to get it optioned for the actual book and nobody would go for it because
Oh,
there's
wow.
not like a single likable character. The ending's very different. Like it's a dark book. I highly recommend it.
Wow.
But,
I didn't know there was a book.
I didn't either.
So
it is like a beginning to end chase novel. It is so good.
wow.
But my favorite movie of all time is Rolling Thunder.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good that Quentin Tarantino named his short-lived distribution company after it in the 90s, that
Mhm.
VHS label that did like Switchblade Sisters and Mighty Peking Men and stuff.
Yeah. I have a Mighty Peking Man poster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have the
it's
Switchblade Sisters one.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to get them together sometime.
Yeah.
So on the opposite end, what is your least favorite movie?
Oh man, can I be mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the hell you want, man. This is heavy metal horror. There are no rules.
So I really, really like shot on video filmmaking. I think that the shot on video filmmaking movement in the early 80s or late 80s, early 90s likens like Italian neorealism in the spirit of people making the movies they have to make with whatever resources are available. So all of those guys in that era were like heroes to me. And now some of those guys are trending into this like gimmicky title, CGI, just get a quick check from the distributor so it can stream bullshit. And it's terrible. Like anything with like Amityville or Possession or Shark or whatever in the title. The most notorious, and I'm gonna call him out, even though like he's a nice dude and he's definitely got given me good advice here and there. But Mark Polonia is probably the worst example of that. You know, he started out making Splatter Farm with his twin in 1987. And this movie is so spirited that there's like this crazy rape scene and then he like smears shit on his brother's face, but it's just like hot chocolate mix. So there's like little marshmallows on his pathetic little mustache. And it's just like so pure and spirited and awesome. And now he's doing like Virus Shark and Amityville in Space and Doll Shark and he's making a movie like every 2 months and it's, I don't know, man, the passion's just gone. It's just like a quick distributor check. And
Right.
Yeah. If you are into the spirited shot straight to video movies, I don't know if you can see these posters. These are two of the movies that I shot. Super low
very
budget.
cool.
Monster Party Beach is a bikini beach movie, the rubber suit monster, shot for about
Nice.
160 bucks.
Nice.
Quest for Uranus is like a 1950s movie. Shot on, it's black and white, and has an educational short, and that was $135, including a green screen.
Nice.
So yeah, and Chop Top was in Quest for Uranus.
Very cool. Now I
So
will
it
say there's a little bit of a
that was the
difference
highlight.
between shot on video and direct to video. For
I'll
me.
send my resume to you, Susana.
Yeah, but I kind of get that because when you said you do everything, it's like, yeah, I get it. You got to write,
Oh, yeah.
you got to cast, you got to shoot the thing, you got to direct it, you got to edit it, you got to market it, you got to promote it. Yeah, it becomes a passion, for sure.
Absolutely.
It takes up
It's
a
fun to
whole
do all
chunk
that
of your life.
stuff. I wouldn't want anyone else to do it, really.
Right, you got to have
Right.
control of it, right?
I
Yeah,
will say I have my friend David, who is like my right-hand man with Johnny Braid-Eater Productions, and we trade off lighting, shooting, whatever. So it's not like completely by myself all the time, but generally
Right.
I like to be the
Yeah.
everything head honcho because I'm stubborn.
nice.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite director?
Oh man. A lot of answers for different reasons. As far as you want to kind of watch a movie and it's something that maybe you can do or that is attainable, like when I shot Metal Maniac, for example, I wanted to be like the next John Carpenter or Brian De Palma. And as you know, making movies, like it's just not going to happen for $160 and your friends and a cooler full of beer and ordering pizza. It's just not.
Right.
So like, as far as big director, I really like John Flynn, who did Rolling Thunder and Defiance. I feel like most people goof up endings. Most movies like let you down at the end, and John Flynn, like I've seen Rolling Thunder shoot probably like 30 times and my heart rate doubles at the end every single time. It's just so good. So as far as like bigger movies, John Flynn is smart. As far as like smaller movies that maybe I could hope to get that quality, Tim Ritter, 100%.
Nice. Excellent. So what is it about the horror genre that you like so much?
It's fun. That's it. It's gory. I definitely like gore. I definitely like the Olaf Ittenbach, like Cannibal Corpse cover, just like mountains of gore for like 20 minutes and it never stops.
So some of like the Lucio Fulci,
Yeah, that
I was
too.
Gates of
you know,
Hell,
like-
City of the
about
Living
that. Yeah,
Dead,
the
that kind of
Italian-
stuff.
Yeah, Dario
Yeah, but,
Argento.
or like, like the Olaf Ittenbach, like the German shot on video stuff. That is,
Oh.
it's literally just montages of gore. at the end. So-
Okay, or was it Gates, or was it Burning Moon?
Yeah, Burning Moon.
Yeah,
Burning
yeah,
Moon and
yeah,
Black Past are like his two best
right.
films.
Yeah.
I never want to see that again.
Yeah, Burning Moon was man.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's a Cannibal Corpse cover for like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's
70
that
minutes.
that hell scene. It's just like holy fuck.
It's
Oh,
so
Oh my
awesome.
yeah. That's
So yeah,
great.
definitely the gore is a big part of it.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's it. What as far as gore goes, I mean, aside from the Burning Moon, like what do you think is the best goriest movie, or maybe just the goriest movie that you've ever seen?
First one that comes to mind is The Abomination. I don't think it's the goriest, but it's like the most ridiculous, especially for the budget and the means. Like the Abomination thing coming out of the cupboard and just blood and guts absolutely everywhere. And the fact that it was shot on Super 8 is very fun and awesome, and really, I think, emphasizes just kind of the rawness of it.
Yeah. Do you like Peter Jackson's first two movies? I mean, those are pretty gory.
Yeah,
Bad Taste and Brain Dead, or
Dead Alive, yeah.
Dead Alive, yeah.
I watched Dead Alive like a million times in college. Honestly, haven't revisited since. I'm a little
Yeah.
picky with the horror comedy thing.
Sure. But I mean, the gore content is exceptional in those
Yeah,
films.
for
I mean,
sure,
it's just
so.
excessive, just adroit grossness of like drinking the vomit. Oh, aren't I lucky? I got a chunky bit. It's just,
Yeah.
but the comedy's there. But that scene, in Dead Alive with all the zombies and like the lawnmower, I mean, the blood just going into limbs.
Yeah.
It's just hysterical. And I found the same thing with when I first time I saw The Evil Dead.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a lot of gore. And that was
And see,
a terrifying.
that horror to comedy ratio is okay because it's just a little bit. And once you get into the sequels, I'm out.
Yeah.
But that first one is just, I mean, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
first
Little bit
one's really
zany, little bit spirited, but like pretty wall-to-wall gore.
Yeah. It's over the top, but in the best way.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll stand the test
Definitely.
of time.
Yeah, I remember reading about it when I was in high school. It was passing around a Fangoria magazine, like, oh my wow, what the fuck is this all about? And I remember
Yeah.
getting a copy of it. My friends came over and we all watched it. We're like, fucking scared out of our wits, like watching this.
Yeah,
This is how
scared the hell
gory
out
it
of me the
was.
first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's just the best. So when you're thinking about, early childhood watching, horror movies, what's the scariest movie you remember as a kid? Like the one that just scared the shit out of you when you were little?
So I was a late bloomer horror-wise. But I had a cool aunt, my Aunt Dee Dee, and she showed me all sorts, she and her husband showed me like all the kind of cool cult stuff. So, like my big coming of age was like, I think we turned 13 and then we could see the second half of Rocky Horror Picture Show as well, as, because it used to just get cut off right at like the creation scene. So she was my like show movies person. And when I was maybe 10, she told me about Nightmare on Elm Street. And then I didn't sleep for like a year. And then I got cocky and I was like, oh yeah, I can watch this now. And then I didn't watch it. And I watched it and then I didn't sleep for like the rest of my childhood. But I didn't really like horror until I was like a grown teenager. And then it was Suspiria. It just absolutely blew my mind first viewing. I was like
Yeah.
sitting, my high school, my bed was like right next to a window. And so I mean, that's all I need to say, right? Like there's a window right there. I'm watching Suspiria. I'm like pissing myself.
Yeah, yeah. The look of that film, yeah, there's something about that film. And
Technicolor magic, man.
yeah, it's a gorgeous looking film, and I just
Yeah.
love the setup. Yeah, those are great films. Between yeah, a lot of the Italian directors come in and have a great sensibilities, not just a gore with Fulci, but Bava and these other directors who just bring a great sensibility to their horror. Well, let's talk about your movies. We got Night of the Zodiac and Metal Maniac. So Night of the Zodiac's about the Zodiac killer, and I love the premise of it. The Zodiac killer hires a guy to like make a film, right?
Yeah.
So what is it about the Zodiac killer that appeals to you?
I mean, he's kind of like a wonky little superhero. He's got like his own alter ego, his own costume, and they never found him. Like he just outsmarted everybody, and I don't know, the whole like cipher thing is so cool. I just think he's interesting.
And is really kind of sets the look for a lot of horror films now that have that kind of like a hooded
Right.
menacing villain. This guy
Definitely.
just did it for real. And the weird inscriptions, kind of the symbol,
Yeah,
the
the
symbolism.
ciphers.
Yeah, and the cipher, he would even wear that. Yeah, because that look is so simple, basically a bag on his head, but it's
Right.
it's horrifying. As Chop and I were talking in our another episode, just how creepy that simplicity is of it,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
just
Now,
terrifying.
I haven't seen it yet because I'm still waiting
Waiting on that SRS.
I'm gonna get that either Blu-ray or the DVD or the combo or whatever because I didn't get the VHS.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
I'm still grabbing it because I picked up Heavy Metal Horror, Maniac, or when it came out on DVD.
Yeah, I
'cause
remember.
you gave me the first copy, like
the
when it was in
crappy
like
little
the
burned
the
DVD.
slim jewel case, and I
Yeah.
love it. I absolutely fucking love that movie. So I'm excited about the Zodiac killer one. Now, did you, when writing that, is this kind of your take on it, or is it kind of a true to form, what we know already about the Zodiac killer?
It's
Not
more
without
about- it's more-
spoiling anything.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
I don't like to spoil anything.
Yeah,
It's
because
more like
Zodiac, we
people-
got Zodiac in the back of the room right there. So he's
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
He's right
So-
there.
So I guess where Metal Maniac was like, I was 20 years old and like absolutely obnoxiously obsessed with heavy metal. And so I wrote Metal Maniac. Night of the Zodiac is me being, I was probably 31 when I wrote it, and being like absolutely head over heels in love with shot on video horror.
Okay.
So really, Zodiac Killer is the background, and the driving force is this guy wanting to make shot on video movies to be like, Mark Polonia,
Okay.
Tim Ritter, Donald Farmer, John McBride, those guys.
Okay. All right. I can dig that.
Yeah, and it's more about like hero worship, like this dude is alone in the world, nobody cares about him, and then the dying Zodiac killer of all people takes an interest, and it's just like, how far will you go to like appease your hero when nobody else will pay any attention to you whatsoever?
Right. Right.
That's a
Okay.
great premise because
Yeah,
I've not
I
seen
can
it.
dig that.
I've not seen it, so I did the research I could.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, I need to see these movies.
Yeah, Metal Maniac is fucking great.
Well, I love the premise. I mean, you got metal and Satan. Like, what's not to like?
I
Yeah,
seen
I
the
mean,
trailer.
it was a learning movie. Metal Maniac's not my favorite, but I learned a lot.
It's a lot of fun though. That's so. It's
That was
a
your
good-
first movie, though, right?
My first feature, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, when you look at it, it's easy. Once you've made it, I found all you go back and all you do is see the flaws and what you would edit and
Right.
change.
Absolutely.
Like, it's like, I get that, that's all you see. So you just stop watching it,
Right.
but you have to start somewhere. And hopefully the more you do, you just get a little better and a little better, as you go
Absolutely.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the trailers and I was actually laughing my fucking ass off on the Metal Maniac. When it
Dude,
was
it's good.
fantastic.
It's great. It's really great.
So much fun. It looked like a blast. I'd be like, fuck, I want to be in that shit.
Well, it's not
And it was
just.
fun to shoot. That's for
It's-
sure.
I think it's great too, though, that now I think you did this with both of your films, that you include like native music, correct? Like local
Absolutely.
Michigan music. I think that's fucking fantastic. I could only wish for something like that in Ohio, but there's no one here. It's a wasteland. But you know, that's fucking great, man. The soundtracks, you know, at least the soundtrack with Metal Maniac, and I know for Zodiac is
Oh,
fucking great.
absolutely.
You know, so that's awesome. It's exciting that you're doing that. And I think though that, you know, it do you know if you have like a cult following? Do you know this? Like,
Oh,
are
no
there-
way. I don't.
But see, that's the possibility is totally there. Like these kind of things like seem to take some time, you know, to like eventually you might be going to all the, you know, the horror cons talking about your films, you know, and that's
You've
cool
got to be
for
like
everybody
social
involved.
to do that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask, like,
Fair
for the
enough,
people out
fair
there who are
enough.
interested, like in us, like, you know, one, do you ever take these to conventions? And like, two, how can people get these movies?
You can reach out to me on Facebook and I'll make you a tape. Night of the Zodiac is available through SRS Cinema. Pre-orders now, but they should be shipping like in the next month or so. Metal Maniac's available through SOB Horror. He did a nice little pro DVD of that.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So we'll find you on Facebook. I'll send you a
Yeah.
friend request.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Okay, cool. Because I love, you know, I have other friends who do indie horror films, and you know, I'd love that independent spirit, because you
Oh,
can
for
do
sure.
things that no one else is going to do. You got no one other than yourself as far as your vision. And like I said, you are limited to your budget. Obviously, there are certain things you can't do, but you know, if you're turning out product like a movie, a story, this is what you want to tell, how you want to tell it. That's a great feeling.
It is
You
absolutely.
know?
Create creative control, complete power, whatever stupid
Right.
thing you come up with.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So when looking back, like what directors, or I mean, well, you've already kind of talked about this, the directors and that have influenced your movie making interests. You know, I think the straight to, you know, video shot on video kind of thing. So what's the one movie you wish you had directed or produced?
That's a thinker.
So what we
I don't
like to
know,
do
'cause-
here on Heavy Metal Horror, we like to get our guests thinking.
Stump them. Make them uncomfortable.
You make them
Either the
something.
thinker or the
Yeah,
stinker.
I don't
you know?
know, because I don't ever see myself like, again, like on a big Brian De Palma set, you know, like I love Carrie, I love Phantom of the Paradise, I love Blowout, but I don't see myself with, you know, like 4 camera dudes and a DP and 3 assistant directors. I hate that. I think the more cast and crew you have in a movie, the more the vision and the spirit goes away from just the director. So
Like we have with Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3. Right? We see that. being
yeah, I
played
mean,
out, right?
yeah, exactly. Like the more people,
Right.
the worse. So I guess
You don't want 5 people bringing you coffees and lattes all day?
Man,
no,
I
no,
do.
I don't. I guess if I could go back in time and shoot with the original shot on video dudes, like if I could just be hanging out on the set of like Wood Chipper Massacre with John McBride,
Yes.
that would be rad. If I could
Nice.
go back to like 1984 and shoot Day of the Reaper with Tim Ritter on Super 8, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. If I could hang out with the Polonia brothers in 1987 and shoot Splatter Farm and tell them, or tell Mark, don't grow up to make like CGI shark stuff, please. That would be great.
No more Amity Shark. Right.
No more
We
Amity
don't
Shark in
need
space.
that.
Disaster.
Nice. Okay. So was there a point, like something in you, like something specifically that made you want to become like an indie movie maker? Other than, I
Kinda.
mean, okay.
So I was obsessed with Tom Savini in high school, and I
Nice.
wanted to do special effects. And so I shot a short called Johnny Brain Eater. And the whole point was that it was going to showcase my, you know, special effects. And it really wasn't about the movie itself. And then I shot the movie and I cut it. And I was like, man, this is where it's at. It's so, you know what it's like. It's so exciting to have something written down all crappy in a notebook and it's in your head and then you like bring it to life. There's no greater high than that. So I
Yeah,
guess,
Right.
you know, making my dumb little showcase for special effects and then it turning
Mhm.
into a crappy little movie, I could never like leave that high ever again.
And when you get to share it with people and they genuinely like it, you know, I think my
Right.
favorite thing is like when it's all done, because Quest for Uranus took me an hour or a year to make, from beginning to writing to finish editing,
Yeah.
you know, over 300 hours of editing.
Yeah.
Just but being able to premiere it at the cast party, you know, everyone comes you know, there, and they get to finally see the finished product, you know, and everyone's laughing and just having a good time. That is like the most satisfying thing to me. I mean, when people want to buy it, that's great too, but just knowing that the people who were involved had a good time and they still love what they do and they want to do more, that feels better than anything, you know.
Yeah, the night of the Zodiac premiere was interesting because it was kind of like the groups of friends merging. I'm a vet tech and I work in like a vet tech ER/ICU. And so a bunch of people from work came, and then like heavy metal deviant friends came. And so the reactions from certain parts of the crowds for different parts of the movie were pretty interesting to see. My friend Laura's dog Louie, who everyone at work knows, eats a heart at one point, and like the vet tech crowd just loses it. But then when like Tim from Acid Witch is on screen and we tear his arm off, everyone just like also loses it. That was more like the heavy metal crowd that was losing it. So it was
Right.
kind of fun to see how different people gauge different scenes. Other than that, though, like premieres and conventions and all that stuff stress me out. They're not really my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
I'll
it
just make
all
a
the social
movie and-
interaction that you have to do with people? Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
Yeah, I just make a movie and I watch it and then I move on to the next one. I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Just
there's something
create
to
it.
the creative. There is the pleasure in just creating for its own sake, you know, and when you're done with the project, you move on. You kind of let it go in the world and you focus on the next thing, you know.
Well, I call it brain dystocia. So dystocia, like again, in my field is where like, you know, the dog's supposed to birth a puppy and then it gets stuck. This is weird. I'm going to be weird.
No,
And
that's fine.
Bring it. Yeah.
so like if the owner doesn't bring this dog in to get a C-section or to get like help to have this puppy, it will literally rot and then like
Oh,
ooze and leak from the inside and everything will die. And so brain dystocia, sorry to be weird, but brain dystocia is like you have an idea in your head for a movie. And if you don't birth it, the same thing's going to happen. Your brain is going to rot and smell and
Right.
ooze out of your ear. So for me, movie making is like fighting the brain dystocia. Like you have to make the movie.
Okay. No, I get it. Yeah. I know a lot of
Doesn't
writers
matter if
as well.
anyone
They feel it.
watches it. Doesn't matter if you get a check or whatever. You have this stupid idea about some dude worshiping the Zodiac killer and making a movie for him, and you're like, well, time to round
That's
up
it.
the friends. It's got to make this.
Yeah. No. I
Right.
get that. That's awesome. So you kind of mentioned your creative process there. You get this idea and you got to do it. So can you walk us through your creative process from beginning idea to finished product?
Yeah. Usually it starts with me wanting to watch a movie and looking on my shelf and being like, man, I really feel like watching, I don't know, a rape revenge movie, because that's what I'm working on now. And I've seen Miss 45 a million times. I've seen Last House on the Left a million times. And I'm like,
Spit on your grave, right?
Yeah, Savage Vengeance, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I'd really like to see another shot on video rape revenge movie. And so I guess it starts with something I want to see. And then it kicks around my brain for a while until I get a story. I like to start with a notebook and scrawl a million insane notes. And then a million insane notes later, I'll just type it out into a real script and go from there. And then, as you know, once you're on the set shooting, things change.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there.
I get it. Yeah. See, I don't have a set. I never had a set. You know, it was like a room in my house or someone
Yeah, by
else's house
set,
or my
I mean, like,
backyard.
wherever-
Right.
wherever-
Right. Wherever your camera's at and your actors and you, right? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I get it. You got to go to places that you have access to, you know,
And you have to kind of write around that. And that's a
Mhm.
little tricky for the creative process.
Right.
Being like,
And-
well, I can't do this or that, but maybe I can do this.
yeah. And only we know what the vision that's in our brain and the reality are often very different. But for the
Oh, yeah.
person watching the movie, they have no idea that, you know, you're
Right.
shooting at someone's back of the house. And that's not supposed to be where you're was supposed to
Yeah,
be shooting
we
in the first
shot
place.
like, I don't know, off the top of my head, like 7 to 10 different kill scenes for Zodiac in my backyard, just like
Nice.
different angles. And we just kind of didn't talk about it because, you know, the blood cannon that I use, it's got like, I don't know, man, like a 20-foot radius. I can't just go to the park and fire off like 10 gallons of blood in all directions, you know?
Nice.
So everything was mostly backyard.
Okay, so you got to tell me a little bit more about this blood cannon because I have a blood bazooka that I just use an old paint stick, you know, like it just, and I fill it up with blood and it just, you know, it just squirts out like that. It's very controllable, but it shoots about a half a gallon of blood at a time. So you got this blood cannon. I got to know more
Yeah,
about
so
this.
it's a 5-gallon paint bucket and there's a bilge pump, like a manual bilge pump. And then I like to go to Home Depot and be like, okay, well, I need to hook this up to an arm or a neck or a dude's crotch or whatever. And then you basically play Legos at Lowe's and you're like, all right, what combination of like weird plumbing stuff do I need to put on this? And then that's it. That's the blood cannon. It's like 5 gallons and I don't know, not a lot of seconds.
What do you use to make your blood? Like, what's your blood recipe?
I like powder everything. So I'll just use like a cooking thickener. I really like the powdered food coloring because again, when you're making 5 gallons at a time, it adds up.
Yeah.
So the powdered food color that you buy in bulk has been like a godsend.
Oh,
And
okay.
powdered cooking thickener rather than corn syrup has been huge.
So that's something that's new for me. Powdered thickener. I'll have to like a cornstarch kind of thing or what? Like,
Yeah. I like
Okay.
bubblegum.
oh, okay. Oh,
Yep.
see, next movie. See, I
Dude,
have
it's
to.
gonna save you thousands
But
because
yeah, because it's expensive to buy
you
Caro
can't
syrup
be
and shit
knocking
like
out
that.
5 gallons in 10 seconds and your entire budget is, a couple
Yeah.
$100. There it is. There's your budget.
You use
can't
like a
do
red
corn
food
syrup
coloring
and
and like a little
food
bit of
color.
blue. Do you kind of add a touch of blue to that to
I
kind
like
of
a little bit of green.
green? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I think I'll be
I'm
giving you a
really
call like when I get
particular, and I like
ready
some
to do my
cocoa
next
powder
movie.
too. I'm a little particular about my blood. It's gotta be dark. And again, I work in a veterinary emergency hospital. I get covered in
Yeah.
blood on the daily. So like in fact, I brought home expired dog blood from our blood bank that they were throwing away. And I spent like an entire day in the backyard comparing my recipe and the dog blood. And it got weird. Like I threw it against the garage and did like a side by side. I threw it on the cement, I put it on white fabric, I put it on my skin until I got it. And the only thing I couldn't get quite right was like the clotting and drying and browning. But the rest of it, I got pretty darn close.
Yeah, usually you don't see it clotted like there long enough for it to clot. It's there,
Right.
streaming or coming out. No, that's fine. I noticed that lighting makes a big difference in how the
Yeah,
blood
that's
shows
for
up on
sure.
video. Like on Monster Party Beach, there's a really great kill shot, really, really vibrant looking blood, gorgeous. But then in my second movie, Sorority Sisters versus Sasquatch, one of the shots we did was inside with like the long thin, not the incandescent. What are the other lights that are the long tubes?
Fluorescent?
Fluorescent, yeah,
Yeah.
fluorescent lights, and it
Yeah.
made the blood look like barbecue sauce. Like the coloring was all wrong, and I couldn't like color
Sweet
correct
baby
it.
Rays.
Yeah, I couldn't color correct it without making everything look all like weird
Right.
and funky. So I'm like, well, fuck, that's because the shots that were outside looked completely different.
Right. Yeah, it's
So no,
tricky.
it's you learn as you go. I mean, it looked fine when I was looking at it, but then coming back to look at the video, it's like, wow, that's crazy. So.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get a hold of you about your blood
Oh, for
recipe
sure. Yeah.
for my next movie because it's gonna be a lot more gore than my.
Yeah, definitely the
last one.
powdered thickener. Most of them will probably do just fine. Just whatever.
Okay, cool. Because the last movie being in black and white, we just used chocolate syrup, so I mean,
Even that adds up. I'm
Yeah,
telling
we
you,
just
the
used the one
thickener-
bottle, so it was fine. It was pretty bloodless
Oh.
because it's a '50s movie, so there's not a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, I used a lot
know?
of blood.
Yeah, but my first two had quite a bit of blood. So
Yeah.
and the next one's gonna have a lot.
Yeah,
so.
we lost count in Zodiac, but it was a lot of gallons.
If
I
we're
don't-
doing gallons, man, yeah, you're the
I mean, it
person
was
to talk to.
double-digit gallons. We definitely lost track. Maybe. I
Well,
don't know.
now, well, now with the powdered colors and thickeners, it makes sense because Caro syrup, you just couldn't spend that much money on syrup. It
And
would
we
just be
started
ridiculous.
with Caro and liquid stuff, and I was going to Gordon Food Services like every weekend, and there's my paycheck. Like,
Right. No,
Yeah,
no,
so
that's
good.
fantastic. Oh, all right. Back to movie stuff. Which A-list actor would you really love to score for your next movie?
probably Sly. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone.
Nice. And then be able to do the movie as it should have been, the
Oh man, yeah, that would
First
be
Blood
sick.
as it should have been done.
Yeah, Tarantino had some interview, and he's such a winker because he went on and on, like just kind of like I did about how great the book is and how they should have done it that way, and then he gives away the ending of the book in the
Oh.
interview,
Well, that sucks.
and like it's the greatest ending to any book ever written. Like you can
Yeah.
feel the ending in your body, and so yeah,
fucking
Tarantino's
spoilers.
probably already gonna mess it up with his stupid.
Yeah. Hey, Tarantino, don't be a fucking spoiler, man. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
And
Some
don't
people like to
make
be
it,
surprised,
you're
you
gonna mess
prick.
it up.
But you're
Next
still
time.
welcome on Heavy Metal Horror. You can
Yeah,
find us on
yeah. To come, you
YouTube.
better apologize, motherfucker. Yeah, I want you to apologize for Death Proof.
I like Death Proof. I thought it was
Really,
all
I
right.
just it just got so it was so fucking talky. You know,
Yeah,
just
but
it's
dude,
like
the
oh
Challenger,
god, like an
I mean,
hour of just
that's at
talking.
least like not super high budget obnoxious. That's our like old dorky video store
But
Tarantino.
it could have been
Yeah,
so much
right.
better. I like the premise. Like, okay, here we have,
Yeah, but
you know,
exploitation
the
films
guy,
aren't like super high octane. It's like Robert Rodriguez
but
got
it didn't
so
have to be
wrong.
high
That's
octane.
true.
But he could
Yeah,
have
but
simply
if you
been.
watch real exploitation films, some of them are slow burners and some of them aren't like these amazing movies. It's like Robert Rodriguez didn't get it. There's not an exploitation film that is just wall-to-wall explosions, excitement beginning to end. It's just not like that.
No, some of the
I
stuff
think
in the Philippines
Tarantino
is
is
pretty
more
crazy.
closely mirrors an exploitation film.
But I think it could have been better if the premise was okay. So we have something and Mike, instead of just sitting there talking in the bar and then leaving, and then the girls are talking for like the next 40 minutes. What if he were just kind of show up wherever they were at, like with his car? I mean, the car becomes this menacing object where he just shows up and
Yeah.
becomes more and more intent on like interrupting them and just, you know, pushing against them. That could have been more of the menacing quality because I like the premise of it. You know,
my
what he
gripe is
does.
having the stupid phones and the texting. I hate modern anything in movies. And it's like, you think you're so clever with the stupid little text bubbles in your exploitation film. Get out of here with that. That's dumb. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. That's right.
I did think it was pretty decent though. Maybe not the greatest movie of all time, but I like it.
Yeah, I prefer.
And if it got like, you know, hundreds of people to watch Vanishing Point, mission accomplished.
There you go. There you go. So what do you like most about being an indie movie producer?
Just making movies. Like, it's not a great answer, but like, I do like firing the blood cannon a lot. I love specifically shot on video and obsessing over all of these old cameras. Yeah, like figuring out, okay, so like I watched again Creep from 1995. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, I really like the look of this movie. What's this camera? Oh, the JVC GYX2B. That camera cost $7,000 in 1995. It costs $90 in 2020.
Yeah, I was curious, like
Wow.
how difficult is it for you to find the units that you use for filming?
I mean, it's kind of a pain battery wise. Like,
Okay.
like the Creep Cam, no, they don't really make batteries for it anymore. So we have to plug it
Right.
in. So you got to have like a whole adapter and a rig. And the camera itself weighs like 20 something pounds. So
Yeesh.
it's definitely a little bit of a commitment, but it's,
And how difficult is it? I mean, like, and I can comment on this just with like cassette tapes and you know, in general.
Yeah.
How hard is it for you to find new VHS?
not.
Really?
Yeah,
pretty
there's a place on eBay that sells them by like, you know, 100 at a time. Or
Oh,
you just go to the
nice.
thrift store and you buy the blank ones.
Right.
SVHS is a little harder to find,
Okay.
but you can still find them.
Okay.
So that's the format you shoot on VHS or SVHS?
VHS, SVHS, Video 8, High 8.
And then how do you
Messed
edit?
around with Pneumatic a little bit. I'm a poser. I just transfer it and edit
Okay,
it from there like
so
everyone
eventually you
else.
get into a video file that you can edit it.
Yeah, I'm
like-
not.
like
I'm
a-
not doing like deck to deck type stuff.
Okay, no, that was so. I mean, that's a whole other process. That's why I was
Yeah.
wondering, like, you know, like that's a whole other ball of wax. You know.
No, if I was like a true purist, I would probably do that. But nah, I just use Premiere like everyone else.
That's all right. So have you met any of your movie heroes, like the people you look up to, admire, actors, other producers, directors at all?
I mean, I shoot with Tim all the time now. That's awesome. I mean, he was my favorite director. Oh man, can I tell the story of how I met that dude? Because it's
Yeah.
a really good story.
You can tell anything,
Absolutely.
man. We're all here to hear your stories. So that's
right.
great.
So there was a Jamie Gillis Film Festival in Detroit. And I don't know, I hope you guys are familiar with Jamie Gillis. No?
I'm not, sorry.
Greatest porn star of all time.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm at this Jamie Gillis Film Festival and there's just a singular row and I'm at one end and there's some dude in like a trench coat doing God knows what in the middle and there's a dude at the other end. And we're watching Water Power, which is one of the greatest pornos ever made. It's kind of a strange riff on Taxi Driver. Anyways, the Water Power sequence is happening and I look over past trench coat guy and I said, hey, are you Tim Ritter? And the dude says, yeah, I am. And so like, we start talking movies back and forth. The guy in the middle throws his hands up and goes, nobody can jerk off to this, and storms out of the theater. And We've been
Wow,
really good
talk about a
friends.
cock block, man.
Yeah, Water Power is really good, by the way. You guys should all watch it.
Water power. Okay, we were learning all kinds of stuff. So that's how you met Tim. So you were in line. Did you get autographs? You know, is that what you were there and to meet?
No, we were just
No?
watching Water Power. Like it
Oh,
was
okay,
yeah, that's it.
okay. So you started talking and like said, "Hey, let's do some work."
Yeah,
let's
we have
do
the
a movie
same
together."
sticky brain, the same brain dystocia, sticky brain. We have to make this movie no matter what. We like all the same stuff, and then next thing you know, we're making weird shorts in the Kentucky woods.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
at least that was the only thing that was sticky at the porn convention. You know, I mean, I could lead a whole other area.
Well, I don't know about trench coat guy. He was pretty
Yeah,
upset.
yeah, he was
Yeah, his
upset. He had to
hands
go.
might have been, yeah. I'll
He had to go
pass on the
somewhere
handshake,
else.
bro.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
At least, get the sock. Come on, dude. Just give us all a favor. Use a sock.
Yeah.
Okay. So, have other actors or directors other than Tim, producers reached out to you and told you how much of what you're doing has influenced them?
Not really. I've talked to Shot on Video guys here and there. I've talked to Mark Maloney. I talked to Todd Sheets here and there. Nothing really. Like I said, I'm not real social. I just like to kind of hang out in this room and watch movies and write stuff and read stuff.
Mm.
So,
But because of the fact that you're not very social, I want to thank you again for showing up and
sure.
being part of our podcast. So this is great for us. So you must have, other than the great blood cannon story and meeting Tim at this convention, you have to have a few crazy stories about things that have happened on the set. I mean, I always put like bloopers at the end of the movies because I just think those are the best things. So can you share just some like crazy things that have happened while you were shooting these great horror movies? You got to have some good stories about that.
Yeah. So we live in Hazel Park, which is pretty much Metro Detroit, and nobody cares what you do around here. And so one shoot in particular was pretty fun because we just went to a playground in Night of the Zodiac. Some kids get killed, and it's my boss's kids. And like there were just kids playing, normal kids. And we Jasoned Jimmy, my boss's son. You know, we wrapped him up in the blanket and whacked him against the playground equipment a million times. And then we got him all bloody, and he just was like running around shirtless, covered in blood with all these kids, and none of these moms cared. So that was pretty fun, especially because we were stabbing his sister in a wheelchair. So that's one of the first ones that comes to mind. Oh no, I have another real good one.
But the parents were there though because they wanted to make sure the kids were all right.
But then there were other parents with like regular kids just playing, and they were like, "All right, these weirdo adults are."
Oh, see, that's the whole other part of the story. Like I can imagine the kids who were there, and like their parents are like want to make sure the film, but they're watching their kids acting and having a good time.
But like just regular old like random parents. They're out with their family having like a picnic. Bloody kid running around.
Right. No, I get it. No, that's awesome. That's
probably the funniest Night of the Zodiac shoot. There's this weird abandoned lot like next to train tracks right off of 8 Mile, and it's just cool and old looking, and nobody cares, so we always shoot there. And so we're killing this homeless dude like in the movie there, and all of a sudden we hear these obnoxious like crotch rocket bikes, and most filmmakers would be like, oh well, we've got all this noise, we've got to get these kids out of here, or we've got to shoot a different day or whatever because you've got all this noise you don't want. I chase him down like an absolute weirdo and say, hey, do you guys want to be in our movie? And there are these like ragtag hillbilly kids on patched together little crotch rockets. And of course they say, yeah. And so the one kid, like so many funny things happened in one shot. The one kid locks eyes with me like he's also an adult and he's real serious. And he says, I can't do any tricks because my girlfriend's on the bike. And I say, okay. And then the really fat kid tells me he's going to do a trick. And this other kid tells me he's going to do a trick. So anyways, I line them all up at the end, and then I go to start the shoot and I yell action, and like a bunch of things happened at once. First off, the kid's girlfriend got mad and she just runs across the screen, and their bike sucks, so she's faster than all of them. The other kid tries to do a trick and he crashes and his bike explodes into a million pieces on camera. And then the fat kid can't do a wheelie, so he like just plants his feet right in front of the camera and like lifts his bars and revs and zips off. All for this like weird impromptu, like this is going to happen in the background thing. So that's probably like my favorite weird thing that happened with Night of the Zodiac, just because again, you have to rewind it because so many weird things happened at once and it was awesome.
Well, that you couldn't have like scripted that.
No,
You know, I
Oh.
mean,
and that's the
the fact,
magic of like shot on video. Like, yeah, you guys can be in our movie. Fuck it, we don't care about a bunch of annoying
yeah.
dirt bike noise.
No, that's awesome. I like the guy whose bike exploded and caught on fire, and then the guy who can't do a wheelie. But no, I'm gonna make it look like a wheelie.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's fantastic.
And then the girlfriend being faster than all the bikes and just randomly running in the background is pretty good too.
No, that's great. I mean, you gotta be like a jazz, like a jazz musician. You gotta just do a lot of improv, and kind of go with whatever the moment gives you. You're able to play with that,
Yeah, the other one was there's a scene where he throws a heart into a basketball hoop. And like it turns out that's really hard. And so it's like 100 degrees, middle of July, and we're sitting here just trying to get this shot with this heart like going off the backboard and into the net. And it took forever. And then we just kind of realized like here's all these people in their early 30s sitting outside in the summer, throwing a heart into a basketball hoop. This is really weird. That was another good day.
So did you like have them just move closer and closer to the basket and just kind of just toss
No,
it
we
and bounce it
we
off?
weren't that smart. He stayed at the same spot. And,
Oh, okay.
and Phil.
Oh, you're doing a long shot. You watch him shoot and it
No, we
bounces
were
off.
just stupid.
No?
No, it was just a
Oh,
close
okay.
call. We just weren't that smart. And Phil,
All right.
the guy who played Zodiac, excellent actor, not very athletic. So it just took a really long time.
Oh man.
Looked good when it happened, though.
Yeah, no, that's great. I cannot wait to watch these movies, Susanna. I'm just so excited.
Zodiac's fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I look forward to it. So what's your motivation? Like what now motivates you to continue making these movies?
I guess
Other than having fun. I know you're having fun, but is there something else that like drives you other than the melting, dissolving brain?
yeah, it's the brain dystocia thing mostly.
Okay. That's the main. You don't want to melt. I don't
Yeah, I
want to
don't
dissolve.
want my brain to rot and melt and ooze
Although
out.
you could make a movie out of that. That might be a sweet death effect.
Yeah, that
you
would be
know?
cool. I could probably blood cannon that.
Yeah, just have a kind of, it'd be like the brains are just going to ooze out the ears, the nose. It's just all got to come out the nose eventually.
Oh, for sure.
Like the Egyptians went in there and like took it out, with the hooks.
Yeah.
You got to have it just like just shooting out. Man.
Yeah, probably out of the eyes too.
Yeah, and have it
Yeah,
with
like
such
Gates of Hell. Yeah.
inject it with
Yeah.
such force that the head throws back and like it's splattered. That
You could
that.
really do a lot with the brain dystocia concept.
that would be great. Okay, this is probably a silly question. But are there any other genres that you would like of movies that you'd like to shoot? You want like rom-coms or deep personal dramas or
Probably not those.
No,
Uh,
I didn't think that.
I think I'm pretty much stuck with horror. I do like other genres. Like I like kung fu, I like spaghetti westerns, but horror's just the most fun.
Mhm.
You get to throw blood everywhere and have intestines and have worms and do all that good stuff.
Because it's so over the top,
Yeah,
and
it's just
that's
most
what makes
fun.
it
That's
great.
Mhm.
Yes. No, I get it. Oh, that's excellent. That's that's great. Um, so how many shorts have you made? Couple films.
I don't know, a bunch. Usually I don't like them and then they don't like see the light of day. So
Okay. You don't like them enough to maybe put them together like on a compilation DVD or something like that?
nah, they don't need to see the light of day. They suck. I
Okay.
mean, no, Maniac sucks, but at least it's a feature and at least the soundtrack's cool and Jim Kanya's in it. So like that's awesome.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But
Okay.
my shorts, they all kind of suck. We're doing some right now that are pretty good. That's gonna come out on something or other, but in general, nah.
Okay. Well, we need to have a movie night some night.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We could watch. I want to watch Metal Maniac or Zodiac. Sometime that would be awesome. Okay, we got some random questions here. Just some kind of goofy questions. So, who's your favorite cartoon character?
Man, I don't know. I like the old like 60s and 70s Scooby-Doo. I like Scooby-Doo. It's just like the colors and the, really scared hungry dog. That's all I got.
Okay,
That's all I got for cartoons.
that's fine. What about your favorite movie snack? When you're kicking back to watch some movies in your room, what do you like to eat?
I guess it depends. I don't have a specific. It depends on what grabs me. Definitely popcorn. I know that's basic. And then whatever little candies I want to mix into the popcorn. Some kind of
Excellent.
chocolate, I guess.
Yeah. So your favorite Halloween or season must be Halloween coming up, and all the great candies and the little skeleton candies. Do you have a favorite Halloween treat that you like to either eat, or when you were like, if you were going trick or treating as a kid, did you have a favorite Halloween candy?
I guess it varies. Almond Joys are pretty good. Anything with like a lot of crunchy and textury stuff covered in chocolate is generally good.
All right.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So if a biopic is made of your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh man. Who would I want?
Yeah.
Who I think looks like me. Maybe like Accused era Jodie Foster. Not because of the context of the accused, but just because of how she looks. That'd be cool if people thought I looked like her.
All right. Nice. So do you have a bucket list celebrity that you'd like to meet? It doesn't have to be in the horror genre, just a celebrity in any entertainment. Who's your bucket list?
Can it be dead?
Sure.
Probably Jamie Gillis.
Okay.
I feel like he'd be really cool to talk to from like interviews I've read and the book Pure Filth. I feel like Jamie would be a very interesting character to like get a feel for a movie character out of and just kind of generally hang out with.
You could bring him back from the dead for a movie, zombie
That would be a
Jamie
hell of a
Gillis.
concept.
Yeah. I mean, you could bring up the cannon, shoot right out of his crotch. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it wouldn't be blood with Jamie Gillis.
No. But you get that thickener, you could, that's not too
That's
hard.
true.
You
No,
get
I have a
something-
good cum
We
recipe.
make our own
yeah, you
thickener,
get some,
man.
yeah, you
That's
get
the-
some powdered milk, Well, what did you
That's-
come?
Yeah.
What's your cum
Guar gum and
recipe?
coffee creamer.
Elmer's glue cannon.
Coffee creamer. Okay.
Coffee creamer and guar gum and water. You're solid. It looks.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever add like any
Purple-headed yogurt
Suave
slinger.
conditioner.
you ever add like any like the gelatinous stuff to it?
No, the thickener stuff does it.
Okay. No, I mean like do the cum like little sometimes.
No, there was
gelatinous-
so I'm shooting a weird mannequin movie right now, and I might get fired because we have like these hotel room suites we use at work. And I just like told them, oh, I'm making a movie. Can I borrow this suite? And they're like, oh, it's so cute. You're making a movie. And I know that it's like this weird cum-filled mannequin thing. And so we kept the cum in the fridge overnight. And then it was weird because we tried to like, splatter it to the right timing. And it was just this weird, like Nickelodeon glop. And I almost want to keep it in because it wasn't really fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
after a while, it comes out kind of funny after it's been too long,
Yeah, it was
it's
definitely
like popping a big zit, it's gonna be chunky and it's
Yeah.
just
Cringy.
Got a
That's what it
gut.
was like. It was awesome.
Instead of guts, it's cum. You got it, cum.
Well, this has been a great interview. So far, we learned a lot about cum.
that's right. Yeah, I think the cum covered suite. I think that's that might be there's a new album for you, Vic. Right there.
No, I don't think I'm writing that one.
Yeah, like
I don't think
Cannibal
I'm
Corpse.
writing
I
that
cum
one.
blood.
You
It's
just
just
gotta
like
send them the pig stuff, man, so we can do. Or no, our ideas.
no, I know. Yeah, we gotta send him some WOG stuff.
I
I'm still waiting on a soundtrack for Death's Head. So don't think I've forgotten. You promised.
know, man.
put your name in the book, you
I
motherfucker.
know, man. It's gonna happen. I gotta
Yeah,
read
yeah,
the. I
yeah.
have to read the book first, but at least I own the book, so it's gonna
All right.
happen.
Well, thank you for
I've
that
told
$2.
you, like when I get stuff, man, it takes me books and albums. In movies. I'm really bad about this. Like I'll get a book or an album or a movie, and it's probably going to be a year and a half before I get to it.
Yeah, because you've got the stack and it's got to take its place. in the
So you
stack.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bizarre. I hate that I do that, but it's like, yeah, I bought the CD because I want it. Maybe I'll listen to it next year.
Yeah, dude, the never-ending stack. I get it
Yeah,
for
Well, it's a
all
quick-
media types.
it's a quick read,
Yes.
man. When you get to it, it's a quick read. So it's only like 110 pages. It's a pulp. It's quick and to the point.
Yeah, but you got to understand how I read too. I'm really a bad reader. I'm a page and I fall asleep guy.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The book could be really good. It's got nothing to do with it being bad. I
Sure.
just sit there. I'm laying down in my bed and I read a page and I'm
That's
like,
the problem. You're laying down on your bed, man.
dude, when I'm sitting on my couch, I do the same
Okay.
It doesn't
All right.
matter. If my eyes are reading it, no matter where I am placed, I'm going to start to get drowsy. The worst thing is that I don't actually fall asleep and stay asleep either. I'll just kind of doze off. And then in a minute, I'll be awake. And, it's just a never ending restful thing. It sucks. But yeah, no, I own the book. So don't you worry.
All right.
2028. Expect
That's right. Just around the corner. Okay, Susanna. what would you tell your childhood self about being a movie producer?
It's funny because my best friend David and I, that is how we gauge success. Because we're not very financially successful by any stretch of the imagination. So how we like to gauge success is how our childhood selves would perceive us now. I would tell my childhood self that I'm pretty cool. I mean, from like a 12-year-old perspective, I spend my nights and every other weekend in the backyard, like shooting blood left and right and goofing off with my friends with VHS cameras. That's awesome.
Yeah, blood and cum.
Blood and cum. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
probably
I
wouldn't
mean,
tell
if
my
you're gonna
childhood
do it,
self about the
that would
cum.
be the
I
name
might.
of the
You
comp.
gotta
The,
have the top two in
the
there. Come on.
compilation should be called that. Seriously.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, blood and cum. I mean,
Yeah, don't tell your kid self about cum. They're like,
Yeah,
what,
I might
what's-
not. Well, we'll see. how
what are
old
we
he is.
talking about now? Nope, just the blood's
no,
fine.
we're
You
gonna
know.
save that. Just like
We'll
the
just say
guy.
cannon. Just
Yeah.
a cannon of bodily fluids.
Yeah,
Save that
the
for the
bodily
talk.
fluid
Right.
cannon,
when
yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
Mike TV's dad and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Dad says I can have real gun when I'm older, not until you're 12, son.
Yeah.
Right. Until then, you're shooting blanks. Okay. Well, we've already talked about your skeleton, but we're all fans of something. What is your favorite piece of movie memorabilia, if it's not the great skeleton from Creep?
Like in my movies or any movie.
If you've gone to someplace and got a piece of memorabilia, or you got something from a movie set, or someone gave to you, or someone, do you have a piece, like, do you collect things that are not not in your movies? Do you collect horror stuff as well? And do you have a great or favorite piece of memorabilia?
Tape wise, probably Copperhead. Really, really bizarre shot on video movie about some dude that like really loves God and guns and really hates snakes.
Okay.
That's all you really need to know about that movie.
That's because they represent the devil, right? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's devil stuff there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that serpent.
The tape wise, probably Copperhead. Movie memorabilia wise, honestly, probably this hat. This is from the set of Truth or Dare.
What does it say? Can you lean
It's
forward?
a Twisted Illusions hat.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Yeah.
like 1,000,000 years old.
Mhm.
A lucky movie hat.
Okay. You obviously you mentioned Tom Savini earlier. So did you have his book Grand Illusions? Is that where you kind of got some of your ideas for your special effects?
Yeah. Oh, and actually, I met Tom Savini. He was a real wanker.
Really?
I've
Oh,
heard that.
dude.
I've met him
Yeah.
twice, and he was pretty cool both times I met him. So
So I think he thought I was like a hot chick because I messaged him back and forth in high school, and he was like so cool email wise because he didn't know what I looked like. He's like, oh, a 17-year-old girl, cool,
Yeah.
probably. And so he would like respond to my projects and give me advice and do this and do that. And then I got all geared up to go to Horror Hound. And of course, I had all these grand illusions of like, oh man, I'm going to be like his intern and we're going to do all this stuff. And
We're going to be covered in cum and blood, right?
Yeah. And I went up to him in like my jeans and Kiss t-shirt and metal vest. I'm like, hey, Mr. Savini, I'm Susana. And, we emailed back and forth. And he just like clears his throat and says, I get over 1,000 emails a day, and just walks away.
Oh man.
Oh.
What
But
a
it was
horrible
cool
diss.
because
Okay.
That's awful,
Greg
man.
Nicotero was at the next table, and you could tell that he was used to seeing like that exact situation over and over again. Because then he called me over and was like, "Hey kid, you want to learn how to do burn makeup?" He told me about Knox Gelatin.
Nice.
That's still pretty cool.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, someone's willing to step up and do the right thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's rough. That's the danger when we meet people we love, or
Right.
who are heroes, that you always run
Yeah.
that risk of having them be assholes, and like it never feels the same after that. You're just like, that one encounter changes everything,
Yeah, I think both director commentaries I've done at this point. I always like have a beer or two to loosen up, and then I start like trash talking Tom Savini, and then I talk myself into being like, well, the head explosion in Maniac still looks really good. So I can't not love the guy.
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
just
I mean,
ridiculous.
some of the great effects of those 70s movies. I mean, the Dawn of the Dead makeup,
yeah.
it just, it's just good, man. So when you're not making movies, what kinds of things do you do for fun?
I read a lot, mostly horror books. I half-ass train for triathlons. I like painting little Warhammer guys.
The fantasy battle or 40K?
Both.
Oh, no. Are you Space Marines, or do you like play the
Oh,
Eldar, or?
orcs all the way. Orcs
Orcs,
and
oh.
orcs and corn guys.
Okay.
It's Porn Berserkers, obviously.
Yeah, nice. All right.
Yeah, and then for fantasy, I like the Skaven.
Okay. So who
Yeah,
are some of your
Wizards of
favorite horror
Fire.
writers? Are you reading
Uh,
like classics? Like, are we talking like Lovecraft, or are we talking like more visceral horror?
Like Jack Ketchum's probably my favorite horror author. Have you guys read any Jack Ketchum?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, Off Season is like a total gore fest. The Lost is awesome. Girl Next Door is a pretty rough read, but super good. I like Richard Lehman because he's just like a misogynistic sleazebag. Brings up boobs like pretty much every page. Real rapey, real gory. Just some dude like writing whatever he wants and making a living out of it. And you're
The
like,
most-
you know what, Richard Lehman?
The most purient fantasies just come out on the
Yeah.
page. Like,
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
like, does it make you like feel creepy when you read that as a woman? Like, do you like, or does it like, I get it, man. It's a
It makes
fucking
me like
fantasy.
really boob self-aware because he's like, oh, and her boobs or her shirt like rubbed against her nipples, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess.
So if you ever met him at a convention, would you talk about that? Like, hey, your
Yeah.
description of your shirt against my nipples. If sure, that's exactly what it felt like. I mean,
Well,
what did you say to
I
him?
made friends with David Hess at a convention with that reason. I went up to him and, all right, this is bad. I'm going to sound bad. This is a terrible podcast. I went up to him and I said, Mr. Hess, this is bad. I said, I never want to get raped, but if I had to, I would want it to be you because you're a very sensual rapist in your movies.
Oh my God.
And like, he really liked that and he wasn't offended.
He really liked
really
that.
That's the scary part right there. He really liked.
Yeah.
So
And like
tell
he
me,
was supposed to go
sensual.
talk, he was supposed to go to some panel and speak, and he just like skipped it, and we just hung out and drank and talked about making movies. It was awesome.
Wow. Maybe he thought he was going to have a sensual rape fest with you.
I mean, maybe. He was
Wow.
old. He was pretty old at that point.
Yeah, there are some
Zoinks.
other friends of mine have met him, and they have to pose. My one of my friends, because he was posing with him, and then David grabbed him around the neck without, like,
Yeah,
he
that
said,
was-
"You gotta," and then he just kind of shook him. And my friend's eyes are really big in the picture because it was a surprise. Like, he didn't know
Oh,
that
that's
was going to
awesome.
happen, so he just went right in. And you see the look of terror on my friend's face, and he explains, like, yeah, he really choked me. Like,
Yeah,
that's
he was such a cool guy. I mean, he told me all about how like he wrote all of these hit songs and money wasn't an issue, so he could be in whatever kind of movies he wanted, and these were the kind of movies he wanted to be in, and he liked raping in movies. I'm sure, just in movies, probably.
okay. That's good that we put those together.
He
Oh,
likes
not
raping.
like here's two categories. I mean, that's, we don't want to make light of that.
No, no.
But in the
Of course,
context of horror,
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the genre. It's a
yeah.
rape
But even
revenge
then,
horror
it's still
genre.
an extreme of the horror genre. I mean, a lot of mainstream horror films don't have rape as a
Yeah,
trope.
I have a
I
hard
mean, like
time
the-
watching
like-
those films.
Yeah, like the extreme stuff. On that edge. But that seems like that's kind of what you enjoy, that more exploitative kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just watched a really weird one. It was called Deep in the Heart, aka Handgun, and it was weird because it's definitely a statement on gun control and kind of how the U.S. handles it. But it was shot in '83, and it's like a regional Texas film, but it's directed by a British dude. So it's kind of clunky and weird because it's like super Texas, but then it's directed by a British guy. And the rape was weird because it was super PG, but to kind of come to modern times, he treats it like it's not, and he like tells her to drive home safe. And it's the most disturbing rape scene I've ever seen, even though literally nothing happens. There's not even like the big thrust surprised face that you see in every movie. None of that. Just the mannerisms and the way he was acting. Definitely probably more actually like realistic and sticky and gross and unsettling. Yeah, really good movie. Are you guys gonna air this? Am I allowed to talk about this stuff?
You could talk about anything. Yeah, I'm airing
All
everything.
right.
It's all coming out,
Far.
Susana. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not fucking editing anything out.
Right.
So it's all good. Yeah, all the rapey stuff is gonna be in
Yeah.
there. So, so this is gonna be a tame question, but are you watching anything on a streaming service? Netflix, Prime, Hulu? I mean, we're gearing up for Halloween. So is there anything that you're looking forward to watching? Both Hulu and Netflix both have
I mean,
tons of horror coming up.
I don't know, man. I don't really stream.
All right.
I got all this
You
stuff.
like the physical media. No, I get it.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. So
Yeah, it doesn't
among your
seem like they
pile,
have a lot of old stuff on those. Seems like mostly new stuff and
a lot of new stuff. Yeah.
and all
So
that CGI shark stuff, which I do like Mark Filoni. I shouldn't be so hard on the guy, but I
There's
just hate that CGI shark
there's a
stuff.
lot of foreign horror that's really good. They're still cutting edges because they're not doing the same kind of shit that we're doing in the States. I like a lot of foreign horror. There's just
Korean
there's some really good
stuff,
stuff.
yeah, the Italians.
Yeah.
I always still
Yeah, there's some
remember.
really good stuff out there. A lot of good stuff. So you have a stack. You said you have a stack of things, might take you a year and a half to get to. So what's on your stack? Like what are the next 2 or 3 things on your stack of movies to watch that you haven't watched yet?
I think I'm gonna watch Death Weekend tonight. Definitely wanting to. Again, I'm writing a new rape revenge film, so that's kind of what I've been studying. That Deep in the Heart was just on my stack. Another one that was just freshly watched off the stack was Ladies Club. That was also rape revenge, but it was super weird because it had like a Lifetime channel feel. All these girls get tired of like these repeat offenders not getting charged or treated appropriately, and so they make friends with like a surgeon whose daughter was raped, and the surgeon's like, just bring them to my house and we'll cut off their balls in like a sterile surgical suite. And it was really weird.
Like hard candy.
Kind of, but like it was weird. It was not gory, it was not particularly violent. It was just like these girls hanging out and having these plans and bringing these, I don't know,
Having
Like,
castration parties.
Yeah, castration.
Yeah,
It's
it was
almost
like
like
a
the new
castration
slumber party.
party.
The castration party is the new slumber party.
yeah. And
You
they
know?
like, there's a scene where they walk the dude back into the bowling alley and he's all just drunk from being surgerized, and then he goes into the bathroom and like screams and they laugh, and it's a very lighthearted scene. It was weird, man.
That's kind of crazy. I like that. That's always laughing
Yeah, kind of delving
when he
into,
wakes
like,
up and
what that-
realizes that his penis has been cut off.
No, his penis was there.
I
His balls
screamed
were- I
too
think
if
it
I
Oh,
was-
his balls, they
without
castrated.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, I ought to
Yeah.
cut the whole dick off.
Yeah, I
man.
was saying, why do
Just
that?
cut
I
the
mean,
whole
you might
damn
as well just
thing
do the whole
off.
thing.
I think it was like a testosterone aggression thing. They're like, oh, their balls are making them aggressive and making them
I
rape.
see.
We better cut those right off. I don't know. It was a weird movie.
Oh, hard to sit here.
Rubber bands work too. If that's what they
Yeah,
do
to
on
do
the
with
farm.
cattle.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be. See, there's another movie idea.
Well, that's my next
know.
movie deals with large animal castration. And it
Well, I
being-
mean, no, using those methods on humans.
yeah, no,
human
that's my
males.
next movie.
Oh,
is
okay.
You have the emasculator. So the emasculator is like this. I don't know. It's like this giant plier thing, and one edge crimps and one edge cuts.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Slices,
you have to flip
dices.
it. You have to flip it a
The
certain way.
Ronco
so-
emasculator.
so it
Tell me
like cuts-
$39.99.
Yeah, so it cuts and seals at the same time. But if you flip it
Yes.
upside down, you can eviscerate them and everything can just.
Now from Romco.
That's
the
right.
Emasculator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so spoiler
cuts-
alert, that's the next movie. The
Cuts and
emasculator.
cauterizes. That's.
Well, it's not like a cauterize, it like
It's like a
crimps.
2-for-1.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, the crimp. Oh, you said a crimp,
Crimps.
not a cauterize.
The crimp.
Yeah, it doesn't
The
cauterize.
crimp.
It's just a nice little crimp.
Bring out the crimp.
I was thinking of doing the elastic band thing as well. I'm not sure yet. Because that's pretty gross. Seems
Wow.
unpleasant, probably.
I am going to have
I'm
such
thoroughly
great dreams
disgusted
tonight.
and
My dreams are going to be
entertained.
so fucked up tonight, Susana. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You gotta get so bored with mainstream horror, a movie like Scream just gotta drive you crazy.
I don't mind the first Scream. I kind of have a nostalgic little, again, like I didn't like horror when I was a kid. The babysitter put it in and I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
That first kill sequence in Scream had such an impact on me. I watched it in third grade. I think that's how old I was when it came out. And I didn't watch it, and I watched it like 2 or 3 years ago, and I had it like shot for shot memorized in my head. So as like a whole, Scream is, it's whatever, but that opening sequence is pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. We had mentioned foreign horror. Are you like J horror or anything like that, or
Not really, just
no?
good old American shot on video, and obviously like the Italian dudes.
Yeah, or the German gore. Yeah,
Yeah, of
splatter
course.
stuff. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's great. So, what's the one thing that almost no one knows about you?
Oh man, well, I mean, my dad was murdered by gypsies.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
that's like a fact. No, it's good. It's a good thing. But yeah, he was
Oh,
murdered
okay.
by Bulgarian gypsies.
That's intense,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing.
yeah.
It's a good story.
Okay. What's a good story? Did they use the emasculator?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think they did. So I haven't seen my dad since I was like 6. I was born in Spain. And so like we
Okay.
left him in Spain because he tried to like unibomb us in the States. So he's like banned from the country because he kept sending fake bombs. But
Jesus.
anyways, I was a videographer. No, this is a funny story, I promise.
Oh, okay.
I was
It's
a
been funny.
videographer.
It's been hilarious so far. He
I
sent
was
us
a
fake bombs.
videographer for the
It's a
Humane
funny
Society,
story.
and I had
Cue
this like
crickets. You
I
know?
had this fundraising video on YouTube, and it was like, like, oh, these are the dogs. Give us money, rich people, so we can save more dogs. And one day, this like giant, strange comment shows up on it, and it's like, Susana, this is your father. I'm being held captive by Bulgarian gypsies. They're stealing my pension checks. Call the embassy so we can be reunited. And again, this dude is like minuscule in my life. I haven't seen him since I was 6. It's no big deal. But he names this dude. He names this like Matushev dude. And then a couple of years later, the Bulgarian embassy called my sister who lives in Scotland and is like, yo, your dad's dead. This dude named Matushev reported him dead.
Oh, wow.
Killed by the king of the gypsies, man. That's so ridiculous. So now nobody knew that, but now everybody knows that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a story. I mean,
Really.
you have had more interesting stories than we've had in quite a long time. I mean, compacted into this last hour and 15 minutes. That's like a crazy amount of just crazy intense stories.
Yeah.
There's like so many more things I want to ask, but we may have to like come back on another show. Would you be willing to come back and like hang out with us sometime?
Yeah, whenever.
Yeah, because when we do horror stuff, it's just Chop Top and myself. We'd love to have you come back and talk horror.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, usually if I don't have to leave my house, I'm good.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, that's what makes what we kind of do is awesome, is because we are all in our own houses. We
Yeah,
just hang out that
exactly.
way. It's the best. So, Vic, Chop Top, do you have any more questions for Susana for tonight?
Not
Are we
offhand,
gonna
no.
end things on the gypsy death? Because that's
No.
kind of weird.
Well, it's an intense story. I mean, I kind of ran out of questions. I mean, I was just going to ask if you would do a bumper for us. This is, it's Susana Kapostasy, and from Night of the Zodiac, and you're watching and listening to heavy metal horror. Would you be able to do some kind of bumper like that for us?
Yeah, just say that.
Yeah, whatever you want to say, man. I don't care if you want to talk about whatever. Just mention us, who you are.
Or
And
come.
I don't care if you want to talk about blood and cum for 30 seconds. It doesn't give a shit. We're gonna put it as a bumper. So
I'm
however-
blood and coming. You're listening to
That's
the
right.
Creeper.
I'm coming for you. Right. Whatever you want to do, man. It sounds great. We're gonna
Yeah, I'll just
emasculate all
yeah.
of you.
Can we just do it now?
Sure.
All right, I'm Susana Kapostasy, director of Night of the Zodiac, and thank you for listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Yeah,
All right.
I'm a
Excellent.
behind the
Thank you.
camera
Thank
person.
you.
I'm not in front of the
No,
camera.
no, it's good. That's good.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah.
It
Do
was
you ever
perfect.
star in your movies, or are you just always directing, or do you actually star in them too?
So the one that I shot in Kentucky was interesting because it was 4th of July weekend, and we're like, we don't want actors, we don't want crew, we don't want any of this. So it was just me and Tim Ritter, and we were just like passing the camera back and forth. And then there's a scene where like he's a rapist. I guess it's going back to rape. I don't know. And he's chasing me, and I grab him and I knee him in the nuts and run. And we had to do that like 10 times because we kept getting out of frame because we literally are just setting up the camera and running in front of it like morons. So I guess if I have to, I'll star in a movie. If it's something,
Okay.
well, there's no actors available.
So was
Yeah.
the knee to the nuts, was that like, do you like knee him on the thigh, or just is it off
Yeah,
camera?
I tried to just like not actually aim for the nuts. I guess I didn't. He would have been too nice to be like, hey, you need me in the nuts. So hopefully I
Right.
didn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's it always runs. You have to be careful about those kind of any kind of bodily harm shots like that. Just inadvertent, you're in the moment. All it
Well,
takes
That
is
was
just an
the-
inch
that
too
was the
much.
same day that we almost got lost in the mountains. And then later that night I bloodboarded him accidentally. So,
You did what? Bloodboard?
well, it's like waterboarding, but with blood.
Oh,
It's the blood cannon. Yeah.
Wait, did you say accidentally?
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that he couldn't breathe.
I don't know. Getting to know you right now. I don't think it was so accidental.
getting to know you.
Yeah, I didn't. It was really his
Accidentally
wife that was, like,
bloodboarded
aiming the
him
blood
as I-
cannon. No, I was aiming it, and the wife was like, pumping the blood cannon. So I guess it was both of us that bloodboarded him. He didn't say it until after. He was like, I kind of
Well, he couldn't. He
I
couldn't
almost
breathe.
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can't breathe
Yeah.
because he'll
Yeah,
drown in the fucking
I almost
blood.
killed my filmmaking hero twice in the same weekend. Impressive stuff.
Well, at least you had the cameras rolling, so if he did die, you could just throw it right in the movie. I mean, that'd be right.
Yeah, I could be like, here's the evidence.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite filmmaker gone. You're
That's
stuck
right.
with me and
Now
my
I'm making
collection
snuff
instead.
movies. Who wants to die next, bitches?
Yeah. There you go.
You're getting cum boarded.
That's
Come
right.
boarded.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's right. Come board. Right.
No one wants to die like that.
No.
The smells,
We
the
gotta bring-
textures.
You gotta bring
Would
Peter
you-
North in for that one.
I don't know if the viscosity would work. Because you gotta like, you
Oh.
have to, like have like the rag and the drip, and it's gotta actually like absorb into like the rag.
Oh,
in
it
there,
just
so-
takes longer. Just takes
Yeah.
longer.
And that would
Uh,
be bad.
Yeah.
Wow,
we're
we
gonna have a
derailed
big-
a long
we're
time
gonna-
ago.
I'm picturing a weird scene in my head right now.
Uh-oh, getting the brain news going. It's
Okay.
gonna
Hopefully
happen
that
now.
one
Yeah.
isn't brain dystocia.
Yeah,
I don't
make
think that would
Make sure you got plenty of socks and Kleenex around. You know, something absorbent. Oh,
Found
fuck.
them.
Yeah. Wow. This has been wildly entertaining. We don't want to keep you all night because I know you got, movies to watch. But we're definitely going to find you. I'll find you on Facebook.
Yeah,
We want you coming
definitely.
back to just hang out with us and talk horror. And
Some
I
horror
cannot
show.
wait to watch your movie. Would you be willing to like meet and show it together? We can just like do a Zoom party and watch your movie sometime. Would that be cool?
I'd have to run it past the distributor, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if not, I definitely want to get a copy regardless.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no
yeah,
problem there.
Yeah. So,
You
all
have
right.
a VCR? If
Oh,
you have
it's
a
just-
VCR, I can W a tape. If not,
boy, I don't know if I do.
you gotta get a VCR. What are you doing?
I don't know. I might have one.
Even I have a VCR, man. Come on.
It's like it could be a
It
VCR
works,
DVD
too.
combination. I mean, I can get a VCR for $20. So but
Yeah. Yeah, because I got tapes I can dub. Otherwise, everything belongs to SRS. I sold out. Got a distributor check.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll talk after the
Yeah,
show.
for
We'll
sure.
get the deeds. So, all right, I guess we can do our commercial and get the hell out of here. Hey, you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We're now on Roku, Hotel Metal Jam. So if you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Blood and Cum Soaked Montag.
Thoroughly disgusted Chop Top.
All the good stuff's taken. Just regular wild card covered in cum.
I like all this cum talk, guys. This is great.
Hey, you came to the right place.
I
Yeah,
think
Ah,
mine is disgusting
there
my
it
shirt
is.
now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're guys, we're used to it. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
happens when you hit 12 or 13. It's just,
That's
That's-
very
that's
fair.
big-
That's
that
what
becomes
happens.
that becomes your life. after
When
that.
hair starts growing in funny places, it's
like,
just
oh
nothing
my
but blood and
God.
cum.
I feel funny down here.
Yeah.
Then like
Down.
it happens.
What's
You're like,
this?
oh my
Blood
God, I
and
break
cum.
something.
That's
Oh my
just-
God, what happened? Yeah. That first time is terrifying, especially if no one, you grew up in a repressive household. No one tells you about these things. It's like, oh fuck, what did I break? Oh Jesus, I'm dying.
What did I
There's a good
break?
horror concept right there.
Yeah, frightened
Man,
by your
guys,
own
I'm really
cum.
glad my first podcast ever was like 80% cum and rape talk. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a good name for this.
Totally
Uh,
disgusted. Thank
yeah.
you.
Just covered in cum. Welcome to Heavy Metal Horror, covered in cum.
Yeah, that's pretty
Uh,
good.
Yeah, Susana Kapostasy, covered in cum.
Yeah.
That could be a whole
good.
other thing. Yeah. Anyway,
Bye.
yeah. Hey, this is Montag. We already did our thing.
We
You've
did-
been watching and listening to. All right, Susana, bring up the horns. Heavy
Hey,
metal comfort.
there it is. There it is.
Fuck.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.